celebrating 13 years of possibility. Pilot Flying J and Halloran Hilton Hill present Anything is Possible. Today's guest, Susan Packard, Part 1.
Welcome to another edition of Anything is Possible. These are great stories about great people whose lives serve as proof that anything is possible. I'm Halloran Hilton Hill. Week to week, or whenever you watch this, I want you to know that possibility is possible. So as you hear great stories like the one you will hear today, I wanted to remind you of the possibility that resides in you. Whether you've seized it or not, just know that it's there and that you should step into it. My guest today is Susan Packard. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you.
I am so excited about you being here today, and thank you for taking the time to be here.
Of course, I'm honored.
Where are you from? I would like to guess based on hearing you speak.
Okay, you guess.
I'm thinking Midwest.
Right.
I'm thinking Illinois.
You're close. Adjacent to Illinois. Michigan.
Michigan, all
yeah,
right.
I'm a Detroit girl.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know I was born in Detroit?
No, really?
I was.
Born and raised. You too?
Well, I lived there for a couple of years, but that's where the story started anyway.
For you.
What was it like growing up in Detroit?
Well, we were in a suburb called St. Clair Shores, and my mom both have passed away, Mom and Dad, but Mom was Greek and Dad was Italian, and all their brothers and sisters all lived in this little enclave, you know, where we lived. So it was family all the time, and it was fun.
We were talking to the CEO of Covenant, Tony Spezia, and his folks are from a little place in Italy, and he said there was a sign there, and one said something about St. Louis and the other about Detroit. And from that area, when you went to America, you either went to Detroit or you went to St. Louis. Well, that explains it. What kind of child were you?
Meaning?
Were you curious? Were you into sports? Were you into...
I was the third of four, and the two older girls, and always troublemakers, always getting into trouble. So I was the peacekeeper. I was the one who had to do everything, clean up all the messes. And then, so there were three girls, and then my younger brother was finally born. So.
Right. So as you were growing, what did you sense or see as your possibility in life? Did you know very early on what you wanted to do with your life? And
I don't think that I would have been thinking in those terms so much, but in terms of I loved connecting with all of my relatives. I was never shy I was shy on the school grounds and with people I didn't know, but with family, I always felt very, just very connected and interested in what everybody was doing and how they were doing it. And so I had a favorite uncle and a favorite aunt, and I always tried to flock to them and sit with them whenever we had our Sunday gatherings.
So the energy of family was really important to you.
Yes, it was.
And so did you find that show up as you started to develop your business career, that basic energy followed you? I
think so, in terms of building teams of people. And then, of course, it culminated in Home and Garden Television. So home as a concept to embrace was so easy for me because it meant all of these wonderful things.
Right, and especially in kind of a cold business world where you're creating a brand new brand, a brand new concept for television, when you just look at cold, hard numbers and you look at potential demographics, you know, you can say, who's going to want to do that, but who doesn't want to come home, right?
Right,
Who doesn't want to come home?
Right.
My guest is Susan Packard. Walk me through your education then.
Catholic school for 12 years, all-girls school and 4 years of high school, and then Michigan State undergraduate and graduate.
Awesome. What does going to an all-girls school do to one?
It can warp you.
Really?
No, seriously. It was very small. There were only my graduating class was 44, so it was a very small school. And from that standpoint, we have stayed together as a school. Yeah, we have reunions, not every year, but and I still know plenty of these young women that I knew back then, and they've stayed dear friends. So that's kind of special.
Talk to me about powerful women in your life. Is there an alpha? Is there a powerful woman in your life that kind of set the benchmark for you?
I would say it would be my Aunt Rachel, who is still alive. She's 97 as of last week, and she was the first vice president, female vice president at Revlon. She lived in Detroit with us, but she also had her place in New York City. And she never married, she never had kids, so she was a career woman before that was cool. And I would always be fascinated by her stories, and she was one of those people I gravitated toward.
Wow. My guest today is Susan Packard. You're watching Anything is Possible, because it is. We'll be back.
Possibility powered by Pilot Flying J, Covenant Health, Home Federal, and the Knoxville News Sentinel. Coming up.
The foundation for relationships is building trust. If you build trust with another person, it's not about using or abusing that person. It's about having a mutual interest in things and trusting that that person will have your back and you'll have theirs.
Welcome back to Anything is Possible. My guest is Susan Packard. Thank you for being here. She's also author of the book, New Rules of the Game, and we'll get a chance to talk about that. Your aunt was one of those people who really inspired you, and you gravitated toward her.
I did.
Meaning there was some pull, some draw. Do you remember your key takeaways from her life? Did her life benchmark you in such a way that you said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to remember these things as I go forward?
She was always talking about family, even though she was a career woman. And she was a great storyteller. She loved to talk about her customers, and she had these very emotive kind of things. When she would talk about her customers, it wasn't just like a client, it was like a relationship. And I ended up in sales roles my whole career, as she was, and it might not be a coincidence that I did.
Wow, so you got some of that DNA. So let's talk a little bit about your career now, because you had a stellar career. To my understanding, it kind of really jumps off at HBO.
HBO is my first media job, and it was really a fun time because it was the glitz and glamour years of HBO, the big growth years.
Right.
And I was there 8 years, and I was feeling that my work had plateaued and I needed a new opportunity, and I was called by the NBC people who were starting up this whole new division called cable, you know, NBC Cable. And their first idea was CNBC, and
Right.
I was on the ground floor of that.
What did you learn at HBO, and what did you become that caused the people at NBC to say, she's the person to help us launch this?
Well, I had good relationships internally, and that was important at HBO. It was very driven by sort of this culture of familiarity. And then when I left,
Can I jump in right
yeah.
here, because you used the phrase relationship. So I asked you about growing up in Detroit, and you said it was family, and you enjoyed the relationships, right? You hearkened to an aunt that inspired you, and she talked about relationships and story. You come to HBO, and now you're mentioning relationships. Never once have you said the word or phrase office politics. And so the distinction I make between relationships and politics is office politics is about whatever the subtle manipulations are to advance. Relationships are more about people and them supporting you because they believe in you, you believe in them. It's more collaborative. At least that's my assumption.
And you're absolutely right. And I do a whole chapter on this for women, because the foundation for relationships is building trust. If you build trust with another person, it's not about using or abusing that person. It's about having a mutual interest in things and trusting that that person will have your back and you'll have theirs. And those are the relationships I built, and that's why I had a comfortable, rise in my career, because that's what I believed in. And women often don't think about taking the time to build those relationships at work. So that is an important thing, but it's also important on the outside. So externally, who are your customers and your constituencies?
So the driver then is trust, and trust is kind of rooted to truth. And so would it be that the executives at NBC saw that you were someone that they could trust.
I'd like to believe that, but I'm not sure that was the case for them.
For them, it was you were a performer.
I was
You
a
get it
performer,
done.
right?
Gotcha.
Exactly.
And you know that if performance and competence opens the door, if I can perform and you come to trust me,
Right.
rocket fuel.
Exactly.
So CNBC, you helped to launch that. And
I
that
did.
had to be a whole new thing.
It was, and we were there. I was there doing that for most of the 6 or 7 years I was there. But then we launched MSNBC, and shortly after that, I got a call from Scripps about this crazy idea called Home and Garden Television.
When they called you about Home and Garden Television, did you think it was a crazy idea, or did you see it as the future?
I thought the idea itself had legs, but the environment was getting crowded, more and more crowded with, you know, these new networks that were launching. And the distribution community, cable operators, satellite providers, were starting to push back because they would be paying you to carry these networks. And so they were starting to push back on that. So that was what concerned me more than anything.
So when you come to HGTV, or the beginnings of that, because it actually started in trailers, I do remember that. I remember people by the name of Ed Spray, Ken Lowe.
Absolutely.
Was there Burton
Ken's still
Jablin?
there. He's still there too.
Right.
I just had lunch with him.
And I remember you being there. You walk in, and if I remember my notes correctly, you were the only woman.
Correct.
And here you have these guys starting a home, kind of a lifestyle brand.
Right.
You're the only woman there.
Right. Yeah, so Ken hired me as his first hire, and then we fanned out and hired more people. So in our founding group was 7 of us, and it was myself and 6 men.
How'd that feel?
Well, truthfully, it had been similar at CNBC. Certainly all my clients were male. And there was something about this group. And there was some magic about this group that it's hard for me to put into words, but the instant trust and the instant camaraderie. Most of us had come from very political backgrounds. You know, we'd been in environments we didn't want that anymore.
Right.
And so we expressed that openly when we came together to talk about what should our core values be, and, you know, what's the culture of this place. So it was very comfortable for me.
Did it feel good to be able to have a voice in the shaping of core values and culture?
Yeah, it really did. And things like work-life balance, these were the kinds of core values. I introduced several of them thinking there'd be a lot of debate, but we really didn't have a lot of debate around things like work-life balance. Because again, all of us had come from environments that we wanted to have a more collegial, collaborative culture.
The cable industry that you were working your way through as you were coming to HGTV was really a wild, wild west. In reading some of the stories of sales calls you made in that industry, I'm thinking, wow. And you walk in, and there was one anecdote where you walk in to see one operator, and he had rifles, and he holds one up to your head and says, do you go shooting much? And you know, you had people that were extremely rude. You had to learn composure, all these different things.
Right.
Why didn't you become cynical?
You know, no one's ever asked me that. I don't know the answer to that, other than I wake up and I think I see the glass half full. I just think I was born that way. And probably there was just enough resilience that I had, and I talk about that in the book as well, the importance of resilience, grit, to get yourself through tough situations.
Who taught you grit?
I think that's in my DNA.
Who taught you optimism? And so you think it's just in the DNA?
Well,
like,
I think grit's in the DNA. At least it was my Greek side.
Right.
I think that's where I get my grit. As far as optimism, I had my dad modeled that. He was a great optimist, and I worked for him. And those were important years. I was just in college, and I was working for him and watching how he worked.
How did he work?
He was very respectful. He was also in sales, very respectful of his clients, very patient, and which is, by the way, not one of my given attributes. I have to work on patience.
Let's take a break. When we come back, I want to talk more about the book, and I want to talk about why you specifically decided in this chapter of your life to reach out to young women on the rise in this changing, different world of work, right? This is Anything is Possible. My guest is Susan Packard. Back with more in a moment.
Coming up.
A lot of people get stuck in the middle of tough situations and fears, and they don't get to the other side of them. If you're willing to get to the other side of them, you can see what you learned.
This week's Home Federal Community Spotlight is on Emerald Youth Foundation. Did you know that each year Emerald Youth Foundation serves more than 1,300 urban Knoxville children, teens, and youth? To learn more and see how you could get involved, visit emeraldyouth.org.
Welcome back to Anything is Possible. One of the treats of doing this program is I have a perfect excuse to talk to people that I admire, and I can learn from them. So Susan Packard is here today.
You're kind.
Thank you for having me here. The 10 Rules of Gamesmanship.
Yes.
These are from her great new book. I encourage you to get that. It's everywhere. 10 rules. Rule 1, conditioning. Rule 2, composure. Rule 3, playing offense. Rule 4, brinksmanship strategies. Rule 5, fan clubs. Rule 6, practice, practice, practice. Rule 7, uniform requirements. And then the last 3, good sportsmanship, grit, and team play. You only get to teach one rule that would encompass them all.
That would encompass them all.
Like here's my list. I learned this the hard way. I learned this the smart way. I learned this joyfully through my experience. I can only give you one today. Take this and run with it, and it will lead you to the others.
Then I would say it would be Chapter 5, fan clubs. As
Really?
we talked about that a little bit earlier. Yeah, I think too many people, and certainly this is true of women, we go to the workplace and we do our work and we do it great. We'd get an A if we were in school. And then we go home. And we forget about the fact that our work product is only a part of our overall contribution to the work culture, the work environment that you're in. Because you're also, you should be either in a position of learning or teaching or helping, others that are side by side with you in their climb too. So why did you decide to dedicate this portion of your life to that, to reaching out to women at all levels to speak to that? Because my experience, and I've worked mentoring women for almost 30 years, informally. And then when I left S&I 4 years ago, I decided that I wanted to step that up and do formal one-on-one work with women. And focus them on what's important in their workplace and have them see the workplace in a bigger way than what they had been seeing it, so that they could see that there were a lot of avenues for being able to express your creativity, to be able to be successful. And then writing the book was obviously just a part of that.
Who did this for you?
There wasn't any one person who did it for me. I learned it. I'm pretty observant, and
do you wish somebody had done this for you?
Oh, absolutely. It would have made my my career navigation much easier.
See, I struggle with that word.
Navigation or career?
Easier.
Easier.
And I'll tell you why. I needed every hard thing that happened to me. Like these 10 rules that you have were born of, some of them, were born of the challenge. And you couldn't, I shouldn't say you couldn't, but I don't know that you would have given birth to not only what you do with your life, but these observations were it not for. And I think about my children, and I'm always, for a long time, I wanted life to be easier for them. And I abandoned that word because I think there's some profit in struggle.
I agree with that. Well, that's chapter 9, grit.
Right.
I agree with that.
Like,
But a lot of people, I mean, the thing about that is, Helen, a lot of people get stuck in the middle of tough situations and fears, and they don't get to the other side of them. If you're willing to get to the other side of them, you can see what you learned. But this people get sort of paralyzed with fear, and everything stops when that happens. You know, you can't learn anymore, you can't grow, and so that was the importance of that chapter.
yeah, so now then it makes sense to me that this book allows women to see that there's another side, right? And here are some tools, here are some ways that you can improve yourself. And this also allows you to adjust your expectations to the reality of the marketplace.
Absolutely. A practical view. That's the one word that keeps coming back about this book. It's practical. Practical application.
What does, because if they have the practical application, then they can see whole new levels of possibility. But what's the most rewarding thing about helping people to you? Because with the kind of resume that you have, you could just go do it again someplace else, or you could build your own network, or you could building people versus building businesses.
Yeah, and people has always been what's been stimulating for me. You know, if we started there with this interview, it's always been about helping people to grow, and others have helped me to grow. And I mean, Ken Lowe has been an incredible mentor for many years for me, still is, even though I'm not there anymore. So I feel it's just something I need to do to give back, because I feel so grateful for what I've been given.
Awesome. Can we do this? I would like to do a second part to this interview, because I got more that I want to ask you. You game?
Sure.
All right. We'll be back next week. This is Anything is Possible. We'll see you next time.